You ever see a photo of a waterfall that looks like flowing silk or a city street at night where the headlights, well, turn into glowing rivers of light and you think, boy, how do they do that? Well, that effect has a name, long exposure photography. And the good news, well, it's way easier than most beginners think. So if you're new here, well, this video series is part of our Shoot Happens series where I break down photography topics in plain English so beginner photographers can improve faster. And now if that sounds helpful, well, consider subscribing so you don't miss any future tips and tutorials, because this is just one video in a long series that you can use to level up your photography. Now, let's talk about what long exposure actually is. Here's the simple version. Your camera, well, has a shutter. It opens and it closes. And every time that you take a photo, well, most photos happen fast. 1/250th of a second, 1/500th of a second, sometimes even faster, much faster. Long exposure means doing the complete opposite, keeping the shutter open longer, 1 second, 5 seconds, 30 seconds or more. And when you do that, and everything moving during the exposure becomes blurred. Water turns silky, car lights stretch into glowing lines, clouds smear, well, across the sky. Stars draw circles, but everything that doesn't move, well, stays perfectly sharp. And that contrast, sharp versus motion, that's what makes long exposure images so powerful. So what do you actually need to get started? Well, you need simply three things. First, a tripod. And this one, my friends, is absolutely non-negotiable. Your camera has to stay completely still for the entire exposure. Even a tiny movement shows up in blur. So if you already have a tripod from our earlier Shoot Happen episode, well, you're already halfway there. Okay, second, you need a way to trigger the shutter now without touching the camera. This is really important because pressing the shutter by hand introduces vibration. Use a 2-second timer or a wireless remote if you have it. Actually, I would recommend the wireless remote out of all of these here. Third, and this one is optional, but I'm going to recommend it anyways, a neutral density filter, also called a ND filter. Think of this as sunglasses for your lens. It reduces the light coming in and hitting the sensor. So you can use slower shutter speeds even during day. So you don't need one to start, but it will make your life a lot easier and you can have a lot more fun with it. You can practice without one at dusk or at night without any filter at all. But if you want silky waterfalls in a bright daylight, well, you're gonna want one eventually. Now, let's walk through the process step by step. Step one, well, you need to set your camera to manual mode. ISO 100 keeps your image clean. Now set your apertures to something like f8 or f11, sharp results, good depth. Now set your shutter speed, 2 or 5 seconds for flowing water, 10 to 15 seconds for car light trails, 30 seconds or longer for stars or cloud movement. Step number 2, mount the camera on top of your tripod and compose your shot. Step 3, turn off image stabilization. Yeah, really. Turn it off. When the camera is locked on a tripod, stabilization can actually create vibration, so shut it off. Step number 4, focus using autofocus first, then switch over to manual focus. Now this is going to prevent refocusing during the exposure. Step 5, set a 2-second timer. Press the shutter if you got the remote there, step back and let the camera do its thing. Now, when you review your image, you're going to check for 2 things. First, the exposure. Too bright, well, use a faster shutter or a smaller aperture. If it's too dark, well, slow the shutter down or open the aperture. Second, what you're going to look for here is, do you like the blur? More blur equals slow shutter. Less blur equals faster shutter. You're going to experiment here. Practice. Have some fun. And that's where the magic happens. Now, let's avoid the biggest beginner mistake, leaving image stabilization on when using the tripod. As I mentioned a moment ago, pressing the shutter by hand, trying a long exposure in bright midday sun without having some sort of beefy ND filter, and leaving autofocus active during the shot. Fix those 4 things and the results improve almost instantly. Now, here's the bigger idea. Longer exposure photography lets you capture time itself. You're compressing seconds, sometimes minutes, into a single image. And this creates photos that your eye literally cannot see in real life. Silky waterfalls, stretchy clouds, glowing light trails, ghostly motion. And actually, speaking of ghostly motion, if I can talk here, I'm going to give you one little bonus tip here. Have you ever gone traveling and you're looking at a touristy whatever, a statue, a building, whatever, and there's a lot of people in front of it, and you wish nobody could be there, magically disappear? Well, this is where one of these ND filters in long exposure can be a lot of fun. Slap on your ND filter on in front of this here, and just like before, think about motion here. You crank things up to a 10 or 15 second exposure. Now, this only works if people are moving in the shot. If they're walking in front of whatever you want to photograph, and there's not a zillion people there. And again, experiment with this here. Set it for 10, 15 seconds, maybe a little bit longer and so forth. Set your exposure and voila. If people are moving through the shot, they become ghosts, and you're going to get a clean shot of that touristy whatever that you're trying to photograph. It's really a lot of fun. Again, going back to experimenting, practicing, and having fun. It's all completely within your reach. Yeah, you got the tripod, a timer, and a little patience and a buttload of experimenting and having fun. That's it, friends. And now you've got another tool in your toolkit to create photos that stop people mid-scroll. And friends, that brings us to the end of our time today. Thanks again for watching. I absolutely, truly appreciate it. Now, if this helped, well, check out my other Shoot Happen videos and my additional instructional content for more practical photography tips. Until next time, well, you get out there and take your best shot.